if there's a situation where like maybe like the internet connection or anything like that, it's just not
Gotcha.
working, then just hop back off and use the same link.
Cool, cool.
All right, perfect. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I am Sean Williams, aka Mr. President. You're listening to the Safe Room, a safe space for entrepreneurs and business owners here in Toronto to share their personal and professional stories. Today, we got a very special guest. It's been a long time
Uh,
coming. It's been
yep.
a long time coming. Let me just break down just what this conversation is going to be about. This is for the real ones. You see
Mm.
a little play on words. This is for the real ones out here, ladies and gentlemen. He is the founder and owner of Real Ones, a unified platform connecting businesses from marginalized communities with customers and while generating wealth in the process. This man right here, I met him in person. I'm telling you, he just gave that aura, that absolute vibe and just
Nice.
professionalism. I'm telling you, he has so much talents. We're gonna get into it, but let's just say you're in for a good treat, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a good treat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one and only Mr. Joe Harry. Joe, my brother, how are you doing?
Yo, man, I hope I can live up to the hype. Well, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Yeah, man. Listen, like I mentioned, it's been a long time coming. We've been
Yeah.
trying to work this out for a while, but we're
Yep.
here.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me, man. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, of course, man. Like I mentioned, we're definitely talk about real ones, how that all got started. We're gonna talk
Mm.
about allyship. So again, if for all the people here in the comments, in the chat, wherever you may be, I hope you got your pen and paper ready because class is in session. All right, we're gonna
Yep.
get to the brass tacks of everything. So I mean, I'm super excited for this conversation. I know for a lot of people who probably have never heard of real ones, you're definitely gonna want to tap in with them right afterwards.
Yeah.
But before we get into our main stuff, we have to start with our opening segment, ladies and gentlemen. It's a main staple. It's a classic. It's a
Mm.
classic on the Safe Room. It is the hot seat. Now, Joe, don't
Okay.
worry. It's nothing too intense.
I didn't call my lawyer on standby.
Okay, all
Sounds good.
right. I don't want to get the lawyers involved now.
No,
Oh
man.
boy.
It's all good.
All right, but really what this segment is, I'm just gonna ask you 4 questions and I
Mhm.
want you to answer them to your best abilities, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So the first question here. So outside of the work that you do with real ones,
Mhm.
tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
I would say I'm a certified nerd in almost every aspect of the sense.
I love that.
That's
Just
the
loud,
sentence. So,
loud
yeah.
and proud.
Yeah, man.
Is there like particular things where like I guess your nerd side really kicks into full gear?
Yo, I couldn't even hide it. I was a short, fat kid with asthma, and it's like I love cartoons. I watch anime like to this day. Like I watch discussions about anime. So yeah, like it's the full nerd comic books, superhero characters, like all of it.
Okay, that's very interesting. Honestly, like I'm the same thing. Like I love watching my cartoons when I was young. Like
Mm,
for me, like there's 2 cartoons that just are stuck in my head. They're timeless. One of them is Phineas and Ferb, like
okay.
that goaded. And for
Yeah.
me, Gravity Falls, bro.
Okay. Okay.
Gravity Falls was literally peak at the time being. It was very short, only 2 seasons. But if you guys have not watched Gravity Falls, you need to tap in. You need to
Hmm.
tap in.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you, like, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Oh man, like it's so tough, but if I have to lean on into like one, I would say it was Batman the animated series. Cause
That's
this dude had pretty much everything, or at least it seemed like he had everything, even though he wasn't working through his traumas the best way possible. But as a kid, you see someone that's like, doing martial arts, that's affluent, business savvy, and winning at the end of the day. Like, yeah, that kind of appealed to me. So yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I kind of see you as like the real life Batman for real. Just like I got the karate skills, I got everything in lockdown, but I also like I can be business savvy, like
Yeah.
the
You see,
real
like
life
that.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I sometimes I describe myself as a broke Bruce Wayne. 'Cause because it's like I wanted to pick up like all the skills, like the things that you tell yourself as a kid that you want to do. Like I still remember those hopes and those dreams. So I want like that little kid. I want that kid to be proud of who I am now. To be like, hey, remember that time we said we were gonna learn martial arts? Like, yeah, we're doing it now. Or we wanted to do these other things. So yeah, that's I just kind of keep that in the back of my head.
I love that. I really love how you made that correlation to like, your younger self saying like, yo, like we said we want to do it and now we're living the dream. So
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. Okay, okay. Good
Hmm.
start. We're off to a great start right now. Let's go on to the next question. So I want you to name an app or a social media platform, wherever the case may be, that you were never a fan of.
Oh man, see, I don't want like the app community to come after me for this one, but what I can say is I've never used a ride share, like
Oh, okay.
ever, like none of them. I have never downloaded the app. I've never done that. So that was one thing that I just never kind of got into. And if you read my bio, like I often rant about social media, so I will I will try to reserve. I will call my sponsor and work through that impulse there. But yeah, like I think anything that kind of gets in the way of our purpose, I kind of find I I intentionally oppose to a certain degree. Not to say that it's just completely bad, but with everything there are functions and there are tools, and I feel like we have to be able to find that balance. Otherwise, we're just swept out to sea.
Yeah, that's very true. And listen, you're not the only one in the boat where it's like I've never used a ride share. So like you and me,
Yeah.
we share the same sentiment. But I think it's very funny that you mentioned that
Mm.
because overall, like you mentioned, I don't like to use apps that again, if I have no purpose for it, then it's
Mm.
just it makes no sense. But I think that's again, it goes back to your like your business savvy type of mindset. It's like if I'm going to
Yep.
be using something, I want something to have that purpose, that meaning. There's an
For
actual
sure.
like butterfly effect. I don't just want to have it just to say like, oh, I have it. So
Yeah.
I resonate a lot with that. Obviously, we got the comment section here, and now we have a comment from my sister saying Sean is very quick to delete an app. Even Chanel knows. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. And the funny thing about this too, quickly, is
Mm.
that when I got started, building the safe room,
Yep.
I did not use Instagram prior to that. I did not even use like social media prior to that because I just believed like I don't gotta go on the gram, start posting random stuff saying like, yo, look at me, I'm hanging with the
Yep.
friends, or like I'm at the gym, like look at flex. Like that was never me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
No.
never my style. But like I feel like how you expand on, again, having to use something for a very significant purpose is so
Mhm.
important.
Yeah, like I find sometimes like I will look at people on the bus or like on a streetcar and they're trying to find where they're going, and they have this app and they're glued, to the app, looking at the little dot moving to the other dot and still trying to figure out how to which where to connect to. And there's this wealth of knowledge right there, like the bus driver who's driven those routes all day, every day, knows it like the back of their hand, you know what I mean? And people don't ask a question being like, hey, how do I get here or there? Like a simple conversation with another human, like that interaction, sometimes that can save you a little bit of trying to figure out, wait, where is north? And it's like how to do that. So that's always kind of been a thing for me.
I love that. I feel like also like maybe it's just me. It's like a crazy juxtaposition because it's like we're talking about like, oh yeah, I'm just not a fan of like using these apps, but then people probably think like, wait, hold on, Joe, you have your own app now, so like, wait, what's going on and
I'm a
everything like.
horrible salesman. That's what's going on, man.
No, it's all good. It's all love, man. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. I think everyone here listening gets what you're saying, man. But
Yep.
let's go on to the next question. So I want you to share an interesting fact that
Mhm.
you rarely share.
Oh man. Okay. I thought that was you're gonna come from me a little bit later on this one, but yeah, basketball and we don't really, like, I don't fully understand the game. I can't play it. I don't watch it, and I feel like people are gonna be like logging out right now and revoking my black card as I'm saying it. but just bear with me. I have redeeming qualities, I swear. I just never got into it. And in my defense, I grew up in Dominica and cricket was the thing. So I did more of that than basketball. And again, short fat kid with asthma, so who's running suicides? Not me.
Honestly, like I like it. I like how, like, for you it was cricket. I mean,
Mm,
that's very unique. So I mean, I understand. And listen, I'm the same thing where it's like I watch basketball. Like
mm,
I've been out of it for a while. I think because of my university years, I had to tap
mm.
out because, like, okay, I got to focus on my academics. But now I'm
Yep.
looking to get back into the fold.
Nice.
But for me, like, in terms of playing, I'm
Mm,
all right. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm like a hooper. Like, I have other friends that are like hoopers, but for me, it's
yep.
like I'm serviceable. Like, I can be like that guy that gets the rebounds, play like amazing defense and everything like that. But I'm not the one that's like, yo, like, give me the rock. I'm about to like Kobe in his prime. Like, nah, everything
Man.
like that.
Yeah, so like my like senior app developer Jamal, who may be listening or not, can attest to this. I'm pretty much the social outcast when it comes to that because those guys ball, man, and I'm just not not part of that. I
Mm.
can't contribute to the conversations, like the whole LeBron versus, I have no yeah.
Yeah, and like I'm seeing the comments right now. Chanel's telling me don't cap. We mean don't cap. You know everything I said was true. Don't make me bring up the details about you when you play ball. Right? Don't we don't
Ooh,
want to go there. Okay. Nah, it's all love.
okay.
It's all love.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Moving on to the final question here for
Mhm.
this hot seat segment. What is your personal safe room? So, what's a safe space? It could be physical or mental that allows you to be your authentic self.
So I don't know if anybody can see on screens. For those who can, I'm in my safe room. I'm a professional musician, and like it took a while to find a place that had a room that I could do this in. Like the drum kit's there, the guitar you can't see it, another guitar's there, and the keyboard is right behind that. So, like if I have to work out a tune, I'm in this space, and hours go by. Time is irrelevant, and that's kind of my happy space.
I love that. It's a very nice space, man. Like, it definitely looks
Thank
like
you.
you're in your full element for sure, man. And I mean,
Yep.
obviously, anytime I get to connect with a musician, I always have to ask the question, bro. Like, are you got any new music on the way? Like, anything you can tell
Man,
us right now?
so I'm looking to work on some more original music. I had an injury in my hands, a repetitive motion strain for a little bit, and that took 6 months of physio. Like in December, I couldn't even hold a bass guitar, so I had to do a lot of work just to kind of get the dexterity back and to be able to play at speed. So I've worked with some amazing artists like Omega Mighty,
Say
who's
word. Hold on. Wait. Pause
listen.
right now. What?
Omega is my homie, man. She's
Listen,
yeah.
let please talk to her. I've been trying to get a conversation with her for over a year now. So can you please reach out to her?
Okay, cool, cool. I'll do that. Yasmin is in the comments and stuff, so she's
Yeah.
been to some of my concerts and
I'm seeing the
yeah.
comments. Greatest musician of all time. All right.
Wow. Stop. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But yeah, no, Omega's is phenomenal. She has just a genuine soul and is doing music at its highest level. And it was a privilege to be part of the album launch, the concert that she threw there. And it's hard to believe that it was a year ago now. I've been working with Tanika Charles as well. I did a concert a couple weeks back too, and that was amazing. So, yep.
All right. I love that, man. Yeah, no joke for sure. Joe, you're definitely like just everywhere and you're making your name and your mark. I love that, man. I
Trying, bro.
absolutely love that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well, those are all the questions for the hot seat segment, man. I mean,
Hmm.
we're cooking with oil now. We're heating up, and I
Yeah.
love it. Absolutely love it. For people who are just coming in right now, you're listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. I'm here with my fantastic guest, Mr. Joe Harry, the founder and owner of Real Ones. We're now going to
Mhm.
get into full detail about what Real Ones is all about, how you got started. So I say, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So the first question I have here for you, Joe, is why does Real Ones emphasize on allyship? Because I feel like that's going to be like the key word for this conversation, allyship, just and not just only based on, black owned businesses. You mentioned before we had this conversation ahead of time that
Yep.
Real Ones is for everyone. It's
Yep.
not just for a black owned business. You love to support as well indigenous owned businesses,
Mhm.
anyone just who has a business that wants to get the extra visibility. So again,
Yep.
I really see that you have a very caring and supportive heart and mindset, which I think, I feel more businesses need to have. That might sound like a shoot right now, but it's kind of true. So I mean, just how did all of that really come together, and why was the focus really like specified on allyship for Real Ones?
Okay. Um, I think I have to take it back to the beginning of where the app kind of started kind of bubbling up. So, during the pandemic, we all witnessed, some horrific acts, right, in terms of violence to unarmed black men. That's kind of where it started. And so we're looking at these horrific events, and I'm trying to find, communities that I can donate to help, the families, the people who are suffering. I'm trying to find that. And then, anti-Asian hate started coming up with the pandemic as well, where just violence were targeted to the Asian community. And then residential schools, that became, that news came up to the forefront, and it's horrifying. So, and then there was also a volcano in St. Vincent. So I'm thinking of all of these different things are happening, and I'm angry and I'm outraged and I'm gutted and I'm frustrated, but I don't like to just steep in all of those emotions. I need to do something about it and focus on the things that I have control over, right? So I started looking, trying to find places where I could get, this community that I can donate to, or this nonprofit, or this grassroots organization in St. Vincent. And I think, yeah, when the volcano happened, I was looking, like, Anika Elliott was one of the only Vincentian people that I knew well, I knew of in Toronto. So I was just waiting for her to tweet or post or say or share something, so I knew where to go or where to donate, or what to bring. And then I thought, why is it so hard to find, communities that need help the most? And there's this directory here, there's, this Twitter thread here, what is called X now, there's a Google Doc, this site that hasn't been updated in 6 months, and then, a Facebook group. And I just got tired of going in all these different places, and I felt like there needed to be one place that everybody kind of looks, so that, communities can mobilize quickly, easily, and can support themselves. So I think that's where the concept of allyship came about, because I think the other part that was actually really interesting was, in the protest, I saw everybody there. Like, it wasn't just, black people like protesting. I saw the indigenous community show up. I saw the pride community show up. And, I saw everyone, trying to do allyship, trying to understand more and learning and asking questions and following through on the things that they had learned. And I felt that that was a very moving moment. And it gave me a glimpse into the potential that we have as a community if we look inward, instead of just what we need and what we want to do, but how can we help each other and how can we uplift each other. So that was essentially the birth of Real Ones. Jamal is, a little genius with coding, and I talked to him. I'm like, we went to school together. I'm just like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. And when I explained it to him, he's just like, yeah, finally someone is thinking about it the right way. So let's do it. And here we are.
I love that, man. And even the way you kind of brought it back, and how, back you mentioned in, like, in 2020, when everything kind of got shut down, but also there's a
Hmm.
lot of stuff happening around the world,
Yeah.
it was through that, you really started to kind of see, like, how can I, do my part, but, obviously,
Hmm.
like, kind of not try to be like all in the mix, because obviously with everything happening, obviously there's a lot of things that happen. You mentioned the volcano,
Yep.
the obviously the George Floyd incident as well.
Hmm.
That was a huge thing with all the riots, everything happening from the States and even some parts of it in Canada as well.
Hmm.
You think, how can I do my part? But also, like, I don't want to get fully within it, because, like, obviously that's something that I just don't think I need to fully be in there, but I still want to,
Hmm.
like, help out. So again, you mentioning how, I want to give donations to like
Mhm.
nonprofit organizations, see how I can support right there. And then it kind of bloomed into this amazing flower that is Real Ones. I think
Yep.
that's really great. It's a very different approach, to anyone else I've heard, who's come on the show and explain, how they got started. Usually it's very like the same way as people say, oh, I had this idea
Mhm.
and, I want to push it, but it was more of like a series of events that happened within a certain timeline, a very significant timeline that kind of
Mhm.
sparked the idea for Real Ones, which I think is really, really great, honestly. And I
Yep.
mean, looking at it now, I mean, Real Ones is just getting started. I can already tell, man, like you guys are
Yeah.
cooking on that end.
Man, thank
Absolutely
you.
cooking.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course, man. Of course. I mean, I think it was just recently you guys got your 300 business, I believe, to
Yep.
register. Yeah, congratulations. Round of applause for that.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a grind, man. Like we're really trying. It's like building a car as it's moving. You know what I mean? So we don't have this humongous budget to have a whole team of DevOps, working like throughout the week, full-time hours building this out. But we got it to the point where is workable, and it's on the market. It's on iOS and Android, and we're doing it, and we've seen where the money starts to circulate in communities where Black women-owned businesses can actually find each other, and they don't have to worry about anybody dusty son if they don't want to. They can they can work together and find camaraderie and circulate in their currency there. I've seen event coordinators, I've seen artists, I've seen authors, work together and host events, and it's just a beautiful thing to see, that money just kind of working in circles. And where allyship kind of comes in is, I have to think, me as a straight Black male, I think of how do I do allyship to Black women? How do I do allyship to the Indigenous community, to the Pride community? Like, I want to be able to. I always say I want to do more than just a land acknowledgement and getting on with the event. I want to do more than just changing my logo to the Pride colors, like in a particular weekend, and and then just go on about regular business. I want to be able to say, for Truth and Reconciliation, these are the Indigenous businesses that you can go and shop at. Just from that very simple act of knowing that they exist can make a difference to communities that need it the most.
I love that, man. Like that part where you said like you're not just looking to like, make a pride logo or do something just for a specific. That one hit me home right there. And I feel like for a lot of us, like some of us might be turning our heads just hearing
Mm,
what you just said. It's like, oh boy, like that's me. But like, I think it allows, no, I think it allows for a more like deeper conversation because, I
mm,
feel like overall, it's like, I think we all have this urge of wanting to do more for certain communities. And again, like how you're trying to get in touch with like Black women, like
mm,
Indigenous, people, the pride community. It's just like, how do we leave our mark without having to like invade a space and feel like we're just doing like affirmative action? It's like, oh, I
yeah.
did this. So now it's like, okay, I can just put that aside now. It's like
Yep.
actually building upon it brick by brick, building the
Mm,
foundation and rather just like stepping inside a building, just doing a little wave and just like, yeah, I'm
yep.
a head out. Like I think
Exactly.
that's super important. I love how you kind of echoed on that because I feel like even for me, that I think that's why when certain things occur, whether it's like, truth and reconciliation or like other days upon the year, I
Hmm.
kind of go quiet, not because I don't want to like touch upon it, but I think
Yep.
just, and again, I'm speaking of my perspective, I want to do more. So it's like, you know what, maybe you kind of sparked an idea or like some inspiration in me to say, how
Hmm.
can I, tap in with these communities and really give them even more of the opportunity or more of the platform that I have
Hmm.
to, see like this is what they're doing, this is how we're, connecting with these communities and this is how we're provided allyship. So
Yep.
I love that, man. Hey, listen, like I said, like I know you guys were in for something special. I mean, he's teaching me something, so I should have grabbed
Yo.
my note and pen. Like,
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that at one day in the near future, like right now, we have 306 or 307 businesses on the platform in 9 countries. I'm hoping that at some point you can just go onto the app and you can just filter onto like Pride community owned, or Black women owned, or Indigenous owned, and you'll just find a list of businesses. You can filter by industry, and then you can just reach out to those business owners. Like if you're looking for content, if you're looking to partner, if you're looking to support, finding nonprofits or places to donate, and then we can just do that easily. And the more businesses that register on the app, the greater the ecosystem grows, and then we can actually put money back into the communities that are showing up to help us grow the platform as well.
Absolutely. And just look at the comment section. We got a comment from Ray Creations Art. That part. Yep. That part. I mean, which part? There's so much gems. I feel like you have to be a little bit more specific over here. But I
Yeah.
but man, oh man, like I mentioned, you are doing some incredible work. Let me just get to the next question. I keep losing my notes, guys. I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm not even touching anything on my phone, and like my
Hmm.
phone is just kind of like jumping all over the place. So I apologize. Let me just
But
get
don't
them back.
don't sell yourself short either, man, because like you are creating spaces where we can have these conversations, and that is nothing. You know what I mean? And I see like you're at the all black market, and I don't know how you managed to get that many interviews. And then like the vendors that I didn't have a chance to go to their tables, now I'm seeing their interviews with you, and I'm learning a little bit more about them as well. So that counts as well. So I always say, like, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So yeah, you gotta own that too. So good on
I
you.
appreciate that so much, dude. You don't know how tired I was that I was out of it, man. But I appreciate it. I'm glad that you found something within the content I've been posting. For people who don't know, I've been dropping some reels from my time at the All Black Market here in Toronto. The full interviews are coming. I'm almost done releasing all the little sneak peeks, and then I'm gonna give you the whole shebang, the whole
Nice,
package afterwards.
nice.
Okay. So going on to the next question, Joe. So we kind of talked about it a little bit, and you kind of did go into detail. So maybe we can expand a little bit more. But how does Real Ones act to provide accessibility to all these different types of businesses through your app? And like I would say, to probably even ask a different question, just how do you interact with other people who
Mhm,
have these businesses, who probably want to get on the app, or even just how you market
mhm.
Real Ones to other people who probably are not familiar about it, or if you're in
Right.
a room full of people and you're just trying to get the word across. Like, how has the approach been to getting Real Ones into everyone's mouth?
Oh man, tireless. It's been it's been tireless. I've just been trying to do everything I can to help people understand what it is and what our offering is. And sometimes it gets misunderstood, to say like, oh, you're a directory, and I'm like, to call us a directory is like calling a smartphone a calculator. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, we could do that, but we do more. So to answer your question, man, like I do the best that I can, with having some sort of presence, on the relevant social media platforms, reaching out to people and business owners on LinkedIn. I try to make it out to events. Right now, I'm in an incubator with Nobellum right now. So that's also a Black innovation hub. So I've been doing that. But just to answer this question a little bit further, is we made Real Ones free, because a lot of people, like, that is the very first barrier, and even then, like, we thought that if we're trying to get people onboarded onto a platform, we can't put that behind a paywall. Like, it has to be accessible, it has to be free, just like, like Instagram and YouTube and all of our top 5 apps. Like, most of us are on the free versions. So I felt that for true adoption and for true access, we had to do that. The other thing is that we also started with Android first. And yeah, I'm gonna say it. Like, the Apple snobs out there be like, "Oh, like, why you why you not going into to Apple first?" But we had to start with the phones that were more accessible to the majority of the population. Not everybody has $1,200 or whatever to spend on the latest iPhone. So we wanted to start where we thought would be more accessible. So that's kind of the work that we're doing. And before anybody comes for me in the comments, I have both. I I bought my first iPhone a couple months ago, but I'm an Android user. But I got them both just so that I could test and use both platforms to see the perspective that our customers are having. So yeah.
I mean, but to even just echo off of that, that's smart strategy. I mean, like saying like we're gonna get the Samsungs because that's a more accessible phone. And listen, I'm an
Mm,
Apple user. What
mm.
Joe said ain't wrong. He's not telling no lies. Get an Apple, it ain't cheap. It is not cheap. I got the XR and I'm still thinking like, man, oh man, like I can
Yep.
only imagine if I had to get a new phone now, like I would have to probably win the lottery to
Yo,
get
and
some
and if
money.
that phone falls down, like you feel that in your heart, man. Like you're just like, oh my gosh, I hope nothing's wrong. I hope not.
Yeah, it's GG's, but I mean, no,
Yep.
it's smart strategy because again, it allows you to now do like A and B testing, based
Mhm.
on the app and everything like that. So I think overall, like you doing that, you're taking certain precautions, certain procedures, so you're making it easier for people who may be using the app in the future. So I think
Yep.
that's a great way of looking at it. And I had a follow up question. It's just
Mhm.
you did mention about Jamal, how he's kind of been there with you in terms of like
Mhm.
build into the success of real ones. I
Yep.
wanted to ask, like, how has the team dynamic been? You mentioned a little bit how you and Jamal bet back in school and everything
Mhm.
like that, but overall afterwards, like, has the team grown? Has it just been you and Jamal? How has the dynamic worked into like favors? Has there been like a little bit of hiccups? Because I know
Mhm.
sometimes working with a team, everyone has all their ideas, and it just kind of makes sure like we got to make sure we hear everybody out. So how has the team dynamic for real ones been?
Man, I have to be so careful on this one. Yeah, so like we've had ebbs and flow, but it's usually not so much because of personality, but funding. Like I have a hard time asking people to do things for free. Like it hurts my soul. People who are all trying to make things happen in this economy, in this world, that's not lost on me. And I was even told that I shouldn't share how much I've spent on on real ones so far out of my own pocket. But I'll say it this way: I've used the entire equity in my home to put towards building that, because I wanted to shoulder all of the cost and the risk, so that the community could really just have access and just walk right in, even if that meant that we were the ones that had to chip away at the door and to break it down and to make and to create access. But to your point, yeah, the team, I think, is probably the group of people that I'm most grateful for. Yasmin helps me with business analysis. She helps with testing. Like Yasmin found bugs that QA analysts missed, like, and she's always right, and I hate it, but I I have to agree. And then Allison is the DEI expert who, before we even had the app out there, we were having conversations about what allyship looks like and how do we evaluate a business to say that this person is an ally, and what are the metrics and what are the things that we're looking for, and how can we standardize a process like that. So we wanted to be really intentional there. Justin helped with QA from the very beginning. Jamal and I, we've known each other for a while, like half price wings on Tuesdays, like at the student pub, like that was always a vibe. So I think surrounding myself with people that I know will be honest with me and tell me like, hey, I don't think that this is the right direction, or that feature is trash. Yasmin's words. Um, yeah, like I'm grateful for those opinions, because it helps me to see things from a different perspective that I hadn't before. So yeah, I'm grateful for the team dynamic we've been able to work through. And then in cases where things didn't work out, it wasn't any bad blood. Like for me, I had like my own internal frustrations, but sometimes I just, because I want something to work so much, um, the letdown can kind of hit a little bit harder. So that's on me to work through, though.
Yeah, it's that passion and that persistence and wanting to have something, fulfill the way that you see it. I mean, listen, we all
Mhm.
kind of go through that every single day. We're all dealing with that. I can't come out here and say that that hasn't been me multiple times. There's
Yep.
times I've wanted things to be done and they didn't, and it would crush me. And sometimes you need that support system. I think
Yeah.
for me, it's my sister. You know, sometimes she'll tell me like, "Hey, look, like I know it didn't go out the way it planned, but
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna work somehow, and like you just gotta keep faith.
Yeah.
Greatest team ever, yeah, yeah. I've been making up the whole Real Ones team in the chat. I love it. I
Yo,
love it.
man. Yo, sometimes we would just like we'd push a new version of the app out and we'll be like, yeah, man, we're finally good. It's out there and it's great. And then like 2 minutes later, Yasmin sends a text and we're like, oh, I know what she's gonna say. She found something. She found something.
I'm
So
afraid I got some bad news, guys.
but yeah, man, like it's honestly like your team has to kind of be your safe room in a manner of speaking, because everyone should feel safe to come forward and say what they what's on their mind, and do and to help, understanding that the goal is for this to grow, is for this movement to get to where it needs to be, and egos can't be in the room there. Like I tried to hide and not be the face of the company and I got yelled at by everyone, like, and so I didn't win that. I didn't win that one, so here I am.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you for sure. But I mean, listen, it's part of the job. Again,
Yeah.
I rather have a team dynamic where someone tells me like, listen, this ain't working, or like multiple people telling me like, you need to fix this, and a bunch
Hmm.
of yes men. And if I get a
Yep.
bunch of yes men, I need to reevaluate the team I have, and B be
Yep.
like, all right, like what? Why can't y'all just tell me straight up? I understand. Oh, hurt. But
Yep.
you gotta tell me straight up. If something's garbage, just say it's garbage. It's cool, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely feel you on that end, man. Anyway,
Hmm.
let's get on to the next question. So, I mean, I kind of did ask this before about what you try to get off to people about real ones. So I'll kind of move
Hmm.
on to the coding aspect. And you did mention someone on your
Hmm.
team, specializes in the coding aspects, but
Yep.
for people who may not know about coding, and let's say they're looking to build their own app, let's say
Hmm.
I want to do this and do that, maybe you could explain from what you've learned from some of your teammates, or even maybe something you picked up on your own as
Hmm.
like a tidbit of knowledge, just the complexities of coding in software when it comes to real ones.
Right.
Because I know we've had conversations. You told me on the side like, "Hey, Sean, like, don't hop on the app yet. We're doing a little 1-2 change, but when
Yep.
it's
Yep.
done, just then you can go on." So maybe you could go
Yeah.
into full detail and kind of open up the horizon on that.
Okay. Yeah, I think just to kind of um a precursor, like I have an honors bachelor degree in information technology, so that's kind of my area of expertise, and you don't go through that program without actual programming, without being able to program in multiple languages. That wasn't the thing that I focused on in my studies. It was more about breaking the code, recognizing where there were errors or vulnerabilities, and how you could kind of circumvent that and making things as secure as possible. So what I've heard a lot is, everyone wants to build an app, and when you ask why, it's because there's this problem that they want to solve, or there's this thing that they want to get done. But then I ask them, is it already being done? you know because one thing, apps are expensive. Like there's no getting around it. I know people say, oh, just use AI, and sure, if you want to build an app that can split a check 4 ways, great. That, that's fine, but it depends. What you're trying to do will determine how complex the app will be. So a couple things that I will tell people is, one, research. Find out if there are other solutions already out there doing it that you can leverage. That's one. Two, find out if this is something that is needed, that is something that people want, because half the time you don't want to be further down the road, and then the user adoption is not happening the way that you were expecting it to, or that you see someone else is doing the exact same thing, and they're further along than you are. So those are a couple of the things that I would speak to. The other thing that kind of bugs me is when people just say low code and no code apps, and those are great if you could just download a just add water app and that is on your phone. But then when something breaks and you have no idea what's like how it was built, like what the underlying code is, what libraries they're using, then you're kind of stuck and you don't know how to make that adjustment. And sometimes it might not even be something that's in your control. It might be Apple is making a change, or the infrastructure that the app sits on is offboarding this technology, and that was critical to your business and you didn't even know that. So if you're going down that route, definitely plan like how it's gonna work, what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna run, and get a UI and UX designer. Because if we showed you like the screens that I was thinking of in the very beginning with my barely can navigate Canva like personality, man, like it was rough. And then Yasmin looked at it, and yeah, I was reminded how bad it looked. So so yeah, UI and design, I think we consume so much information now. There are so many different things that are intuitive to us. Um, I think it's worth looking at, making sure that what you're trying to build is something that is easy to understand, that is easy to kind of get through and navigate.
Yeah, that's super important. And, you look at like websites in general, I feel like a lot of people, if you're building a website just
Yep.
from maybe Wix or Squarespace, I think one thing you want to consider is the accessibility in terms of how people will navigate throughout the website, but also
Hmm.
speed performance. You
Yep.
don't want to be where you open a tab and then it's taking like 20 seconds to load. It's like, bro, what do we do?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we had to look into all of those things. But at 3 a.m., like Justin broke the app once because we hadn't thought of this tiny feature. And like he was able to break it, and then alerts are like triggering at 3 a.m. I'm just like, what did you do? But yeah, man. So that's all good.
Yeah, but yeah, like you mentioned, I think it's important to do your research to make sure that you have an understanding. Because again, coding's not very easy, and there's very different
Hmm.
lines of codes. Obviously, like I don't know coding that much, so like if someone
Hmm.
said like, "Hey, like, do you think you could like do some coding?" I'd be like, "You're asking the wrong person. you're asking the wrong person. I don't know nothing
Yep.
about that, but it's something I'm definitely interested in for sure."
Hmm. Yeah, research and cost is like those are the two big things, because research will inform you of like if it's viable, if it makes sense, if there's a need for it. And I don't mean just go to imright.com and find somebody that agrees with you and say like, hey, I did my research and it's done. Like we sent surveys out to get people's ideas on the mock-ups. We looked at like top 10 this. I did 2 years of research just scrolling and capturing different ideas and looking at similar systems, or you know systems that were running but not in the format that I was trying to build. So like directories that were there, but it wasn't a mobile app, or apps that were out there but it wasn't serving what we were trying to do, and just trying to take the best pieces of everything and build something truly unique.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, for me, again, I think it's really important for anyone who's listening, who's probably wants to get into coding and software,
Mhm.
to make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Again, doing your research, and the cost, like you mentioned, it's not cheap. So you definitely want to know that you're allocating your funds or even just your time of labor into
Yep.
doing this. It's super crucial because you don't want to be sitting there for years upon years and you're still kind of like struggling and you don't
Mhm.
know. And I think it's important again to ask for that help. You can't just tell yourself like, I'm Superman, I can do everything by myself.
Yep.
Guys, I don't even do coding. I need help. I need help with my own stuff at some point. So I mean, like, you need to have a team, and I can see, Joe, you've assembled a great amount of people that's helping you with real ones grow and grow every single day.
Yeah, man, I'm so grateful for my team, man. You have no idea. Like I'm thankful, and I can't wait for the day where I can truly do something that is to really express like my gratitude. So once we start making the revenue that we're hoping to, and then you see us living nice, just know that that there were times, man, where sacrifices were made, where we were up till 2 a.m. Nobody's getting paid. We're trying to figure out bugs and trying to get it, you get prepared for conferences and showcases and pitches and all that. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I want to move on a bit, and I do have some additional questions. From hearing
Mhm.
this conversation, man. It's just, is there any like new things or I guess new features that you're working right now behind the scenes with real ones that will not only just enhance the
Mhm.
just experience for people who are signing up to real ones and navigate on the app, but you feel like you probably kept on the back burner because you said, okay, I just want to get the basic functionalities like
Mhm.
done. Now it's like, okay, we got that. Let's get a little creative now. Let's start adding some little tidbit here, tidbit there.
Yeah.
Has there been any things that you've been thinking about or you're looking to implement soon for real ones?
Yeah, let me just send you that non-disclosure agreement right quick. Like that's man. Yeah, like there's a couple features that are already in. So the very first business setup that registered on the app, I got some feedback like, "Oh, like couldn't we like save our application halfway before we finished it?" And I was just like, "Seriously? Like how are you doing this? You've known me for 13 years. Like stop it's like stop this." But we have that feature in now, so I listen, I pay attention. And one of the things that people always kind of said is that applying to get their business on the app was easier than they thought. Like everyone thinks that it's this like long, convoluted, like 17-minute process, but on average, it takes somewhere between three to 5 minutes to register your business or to get through the application. So we've done that. We got some feedback that people wanted to stay logged into the app a little bit longer, so we have a solution for that now. So you can stay logged in for an extended period of time. So that's that. And we're actually finding ways to where businesses can monetize on the app as well, so that you can make money on being logged into real ones. We're really trying to create that ecosystem where businesses can collaborate more easily, can showcase each other more easily, and you can actually, if you're an organization where you have like business partners that are members, then we're going to have functionality where all of those ecosystems can live and exist on the app. Like we weren't coming for anybody's job. We really just were trying to make real ones the number one and the first place that people go to find businesses, and then they can kind of go from there. So yeah.
I love that. I love that little last bit. Like we're not trying to come after everyone, it's just
No, yo, because honestly, sometimes I feel like it's tough. Like if I say like, hey, check out this app, and then someone's like, well, I was planning on building a directory, so like, you know, I've seen that in a couple spaces, and like I just felt like we had it in mind like what if all the directories that exist out there could actually just migrate right onto the app, and their business model still stays the same, what they charge their clients or whatever, like that is still with them, but then the real ones platform is just where everybody would go, instead of trying to find a Facebook group or that link that you saved or that screenshot that you took 4 months ago, and then or the tabs that are saved on your phone trying to remember that one restaurant that someone told you that had really good jollof rice or something. Like that's blessinglicious, by the way, but still, yeah, man, like that's really what we're trying to do, like just to make a collaborative environment where we say like community is everything, where we can work together regardless of race, faith, or identity, and just come together and do good business.
I love that, man. Like as you guys can hear, I mean, Joe is extremely like about the supportiveness of like other businesses. Again, the allyship, and
Mhm.
again, like I know you mentioned before the all black market, but you did compete for
Mhm.
a pitch contest, hosted by Nobellum, and
Mhm.
you did get I believe it was third place, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was third place, and I mean, we did like a little like a little mini interview, and like
Yep.
even in that moment, you're like, "Listen, man, I don't know if I wanted to even compete with everyone because like I want to like build, with everyone who's here. Like, yeah, I
Yep.
understand, like the pitch competition is it's competition, but at the end of the day, like for you, you kind of see it's like collaboration aspect. You want
Yeah.
people to work together. You want people to, see how can we build upon each other rather than just like tear each other down. It's about
Yep.
supporting the overall ecosystem.
100%, man. I want to see everybody win, man, because like, you know, I don't think anyone else's success is a threat to me. Like, I don't think that my success means that someone else can't make it, you know. And if we think of how we can help each other, if we all thought that way, like, we would get so much further before we even realized that that was what we were actually doing. Like, you know, sometimes when it says like supporting businesses, it doesn't always mean that it has to cost you money. Like, you know, we all know a friend that has a business or a website or something. Like, you can go and just drop a 5-star, you know, review on their page. Like, that costs you nothing. 2 taps, boom boom, and that's done. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
or just share their page on your socials. Like, we share businesses all the time. We haven't asked for a cent. It's just, you know, these are the businesses that are doing great things. Like, it doesn't have to cost you all the time, you know, just to help your community.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of times, again, we get stuck in that mindset of like, oh, if I gotta support someone, it's like I gotta pay money out of my pockets, and
Yep.
that's not the case. I mean, I'm the same thing. If I see someone doing some amazing work,
Hmm.
I'll just share it on my story because I feel like what's the point of just seeing good work and not wanting to share it? That's just never been
Hmm.
my MO. That's never been my type of style of how I interact with people. And I think even what's satisfying too is that sometimes someone will message you privately on DM and be like, yo, thanks for the share. It's like I
Hmm.
appreciate it. Like
Yeah.
honestly, they could be thinking themselves like, you didn't need to do that. You really did not need to do that, but you did,
Yep.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to get to this little role play session, okay? Something
Hmm.
very simple. But again, for people who are just coming in right now, you are listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. We have our fantastic guest, Joe Harry, the founder and owner of Real Ones. We talked a little bit about how Real Ones got started. We bigged up the Real Ones team on here. So shout out to the Real Ones team. We talked a little bit about coding, how for anyone who wants to get started of building their own app, understand the complexities around there. And now I want to do a little role play session. And this is just for anyone, who's curious about signing up. And honestly, you shouldn't be curious after this, interview. Y'all should be heading
Come
to the
through,
app.
man.
You need
Yeah.
to come through. But we're gonna do a little role play. It's a new stable we're doing on the show, but it's becoming more comfortably in the slot of it's around this 50-minute time slot. It's become a mainstay. So
Hmm.
don't mind me, Joe. I'm just gonna get into character, like just you don't know me. My name is not Sean Williams for this one. For this one, I'm somebody else. I'm Bob. Let's just say Bob.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey Joe. So my name is Bob. It's nice to meet you. I was actually scrolling through my IG feed and I heard, something about Real Ones. I'm not sure what Real Ones actually is. Do you think you could tell me what Real Ones is? Is it like a business or anything?
Yeah, man, I can definitely do that. First of all, thank you for reaching out. With Real Ones, what we're trying to do is very simple. We're trying to create a unified platform for marginalized communities where businesses can register and have quicker access to their customers to make it easy to buy black, to shop local, and to work with their allies and generate wealth at the same time.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. Matter of fact, I actually do have a very small business. I do. I basically sell pottery and stuff like that.
Nice.
Would you say there's a certain criteria for me to be on this app because I've only been doing it for like 6 months, so I don't
Mhm.
know if there's businesses that you have on this app where it's 10 years plus of experience. Like I don't know. Is there a certain criteria?
No, that's a good question. Honestly, we say that all are welcome. So for Real Ones, what we're trying to do is really to elevate businesses. And if you need help to elevate your business to a certain level, we have other resources that's already on the app, and the network of businesses there are very, very welcoming. So we always say that with Real Ones, regardless of race, faith, or identity, everyone's welcome. We just our expectation is to treat everybody with respect on the platform so that our customers feel safe coming to those establishments. So if you don't have any issues with that, then you're more than welcome to join. But I will ask you this though. So you said that you're 6 months in. Do you generate invoices? Are you making money so far?
Yeah, I have been making some money. I
Yeah, so
just
you're a
did.
whole business, man. Like, yeah, you can definitely register. Like, honestly, like we always say to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So the great thing about Real Ones is that it becomes a landing page that you can refer to other people and other businesses can find you because our customers are actively searching for businesses to support. And right now, out of the 306 businesses that's on the platform, there's not anyone that does pottery yet. So you could be the first man trendsetter. I'm just saying, you know.
Okay, I like that. I mean, congrats on over 300 businesses. That must be like a huge milestone.
Yeah, man, we're trying. Like the largest repository of black owned businesses in Canada has about 8,000. But we're trying to get all of those businesses as well. But also it's opened up to allies as well, and that's another 1.9 million businesses. So we got work to do, but the barrier there is not really a barrier. It's just that it's free, and everyone thinks that it costs money to do this, but it's actually free to join. You can log in with your Google ID or your Apple ID, and you're good to go.
Okay, perfect. I just have one final question. So, like, am I allowed to like put some of my products or kind of let people know like what some of my products are on this app?
Yeah, 100%. So with Real Ones, what we tried to do is just make it be the first place that people go looking to find your business. We allow one URL. So because we already know, like running a business, it takes work, right? You're wearing a lot of hats. You have to be the marketing person. You have to do the product or the service. Then you have to manage social media. You're a content creator. All of a sudden, you're an accountant, bookkeeper. Like it's a lot. So we didn't want to give you another platform that you have to constantly maintain. So we just figured like if you can, once you register and you're approved, you can complete your profile, add your country flags, rep your background and stuff. You can do that, and then you can actually send announcements. So if people favorite your business or they like it, they save it to a list. You can say, hey, we're having a pop-up shop at All Black Market this Saturday, and then boom, like people can see that and they'll know to come through. And the URL, you can direct them to wherever you want to go. You can add all your socials at the bottom as well. And yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. I actually do have a website that I just launched about
Nice.
a couple months ago, so I think I can use that to direct people to my shop. So again, if they want to buy some pottery, then that'd
Mm.
be great. But yeah, you know what? Is the app on the App Store?
Yeah, so all you do is search Real Ones, is all one word, on iOS or Android, and you can download the app from there. You can use a username and password, but if you don't want to create another password to remember, you can just log in with your Google ID or your Apple ID. That's one touch, and bam, you're in.
Okay, perfect. I'm already 2 steps ahead of you right now. I got
Yeah,
the app
man.
downloaded. So
Yeah.
yeah, Joe, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. I will ask you though, like, is there anything that we can do for you as a newcomer to Real Ones? Is there any resources that you're looking for? Anything that we might be able to help, direct you to?
I mean, I know you said I could possibly be the first business
Hmm.
that has like pottery, like products being sold. But do you
Hmm.
think like maybe just like if you guys could give like updates about like other businesses maybe similar in my like I guess industry of what I
Hmm.
do, maybe like notifications, that would be dope. I mean, like that would let me know like, oh, I could probably tap in with this business. I could
Okay.
probably collaborate with them. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, definitely. We can do something like that. So we're building out the newsletter. We have about 1,400 users right now. So we can really just say, hey, these are the new businesses that's out there. I can already think maybe like Scarborough Tees you could reach out to that does merch with clothing. So that could be a nice collab there, like like pottery and teas and all that stuff. So brand recognition, collaborating between brands is always helpful to build your network and grow your audience.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Joe. I'm definitely gonna get my account set up, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing just the real ones grow afterwards.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much for reaching out. And yeah, man, we'll keep an eye out for your application.
Okay, all right. Scene, see, guys, I should honestly be an actor. Y'all should give me like an Oscar for that one. I feel like I was a talented performer, not just for me, but Joe as well. I mean, you
Yo,
are.
man, you invented a business. You had a value proposition there. It's like website coming in. So yeah,
I was just like working on the fly, like, ooh, what do I say?
nice. Yeah, but the difficult part is well, this conversation is usually easy, but it's getting the businesses to actually follow through and do that application. Like I swear, like,
Let
sometimes it's just reminding them over and over, like, "Hey, you're gonna do it yet?" And then I feel like I'm nagging people, so I shut up.
Listen, man. I'm trying to remember the first time that we connected. Like I know we had our calls before, but I think
Hmm.
it was like me, you. I think Nikki. I don't know if Tamara was there too. I might have met you even before at other points, but when I
Hmm.
heard that you had an app like this, I was like, I wish I got his contact. I was like, oh man, I need to get his info. And then
Yep.
when we reconnect, I'm like, okay, give me that. I need to know
There you
where
go.
can I go.
Awesome.
So I mean, I feel like I don't know if people are tapping in or immediately signing up. Honestly, like there better be anyone who is listening right now. If you have a business, I better expect that number of 306 jump to like 400 by tomorrow. If we don't, then
Man,
we have a problem.
yo, come through, man. Like it's there, it's free, it's fast, it works. Like we work hard at it, and like we believe in what we're doing. So yeah, you can be a part of empowering your own community and others. So yeah.
Like honestly, like I feel like what you said overall is perfect. And again, I can see why you won that pitch. You got that third place pitch, man. So I
Thanks,
mean,
man.
it is what it is. Well, that ends my little role play session, but I do have some fun activities to do. I have
Mhm.
something a little bit fun I want to implement. I'm trying to pull it up right now, but my phone is like acting up right now.
Yo, technology will always be disrespectful like that sometimes.
Technology is so annoying,
It's like, oh, you
man.
want to rely on me at a critical point? I'm just gonna be petty right now.
If I told you the amount of times like my internet has crashed on me for like little things, then you would be shocked.
Bro, so the computer that I was running Real Ones on for the up until maybe 2 weeks ago was an 11-year-old computer that was propped up on boxes, man. Like you don't understand. Like I was doing music and and Real Ones through that, and I was nervous. It took 17 minutes to boot. It's like,
What?
so yeah, man, because all the money was going into like DevOps and like marketing and branding and doing all the really important things, and I was just hoping that the computer could last, man. So yeah, I get it. I get it. It's sacrifice for the
Mm,
community.
I feel you. I feel you, man, for sure. Anyway,
Yeah,
okay, I found what I was looking for. I have two activities. Here's the first one.
nice.
This one, I won't even lie. This one was kind of like inspired of what I saw today, this morning on TikTok.
Oh boy.
I think my sister knows exactly what I'm talking about. So I've had some people, just a
Mm,
couple people come on the show, and they've mentioned before that math was not their favorite subject. Like they hated it. Like me, I'm
math.
the opposite.
Okay.
Like I actually love math. Like that was
Mm.
just like that was my thing. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let's do something fun. Let's do some multiplication.
Oh my gosh, really?
I just want to test your IQ on this one.
What? Okay.
This is gonna be like we're gonna try to do like speed round, but like I don't want to like completely like bust your brain. Joe.
Yeah, do you have the answers already, or it's like, are you
I-
cheating?
I'm not cheating. No, I'm being dead serious. Like
Okay,
back in
cool.
school, they used to call me like the human calculator. Don't put me to the test now because
Yeah.
obviously I might blank out. But I really was
Okay.
like pretty good at math. So I just have some questions. We're gonna do a speed round. We're gonna see how much you can get. Okay.
Hmm. Jeez. Okay.
I'll make it better. Do you want me to time you? Like we can do like a minute.
Yeah, yo, let's do whatever. It's your show, man. Like I'll do what I can.
I just don't want to put you under like that much pressure. So
No,
let's
man, it's
go.
it's all good. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, let's go a minute. All right, I'm about to get started. I should do a minute 30. A minute 30.
Hmm.
All right, here we go. So first question: 8 times 7.
Oh my gosh. That is, I don't know. 7 times 7 is 49 plus what? Another seven. That would be what? 56?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Four
See
times
how
eight.
I, oh my gosh, I have
We're
to
gonna
do
keep
it
going.
so roundabout. Okay, so 4 times 8, I do 16 by 2, that is 32.
Okay. 5 times 1.
Well, that's 5.
3 times 9.
27.
Okay. 4 times 5.
4 times 5 is 20.
2 times 7.
2, 14.
6 times 9.
Oh, there was a trick to this one. It's 54.
Mm-hmm. 3 times 3.
9.
Okay. 3 times 2.
3 times 2 is 6.
8 times 1.
8.
7 times 9.
7 times. Oh man, you got this again. It's 63.
Okay. 12 times 4.
12 times 4, 24 times 2, 48.
All right. 10 times
Yeah.
5.
Wait, 10 times 5, you said? 50.
Yes. 11 times 9.
Oh, 99.
All right. Last one. 12 times 12.
12 times 12, final times table, that's 144.
Okay. You did
Cool.
good. You did good.
Oh, man. Yo, I thought you were going to be like the sign of 90 times,
Ah,
like,
come
it's like,
on.
what's the fourth position of pi? Like, it's like, I don't
Nah,
know.
nah, nah. I'm not that cruel. Honestly, like
Okay.
these were the type of questions that I got that I really enjoyed, like back
Mhm.
in school. Everyone thought like, Sean, you're sick.
No, I used to struggle with math a lot more. But then like my mom actually, who was a school teacher, started, telling me to think about it in terms of money. And hey, like ever since then, it started to click a little bit more easily. So when it's like, yeah, 20 by 5, like how many 20s in 100? It's like, so I just went about it that way. So yeah.
Nah, yeah, think smarter, not hard. You gotta
Yeah.
think smart, man. I love that. I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was the first one. The second one is very quick before we wrap things up.
Okay.
We've done this multiple times. It's basically a blind ranking. So, how this works, I have 5 names, and I
Mhm.
want you to blind rank these names without knowing what comes next.
When you say so, rate them out of 10 or something, or
It's like 1 to 5. So, like, there's a
okay,
placement like first place, second,
okay,
third, fourth, fifth. I want you to blind rank them without knowing what comes next.
okay.
And the context of this is that they're Canadian musicians.
Oh no! Oh, oh no! Okay, so 5 is great and 1 is
5 is
mid.
the bottom. Five is
Oh,
the bottom. So
5
number
is the
one's the
bottom.
top.
Okay.
Five.
Oh, okay. So I'm ranking them in order.
Yeah, but
Okay,
again,
okay,
I'm
okay,
I'm going to list them one by one. I'm not going to
okay.
give you all 5 names. You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have
yeah. Okay.
to.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do it.
perfect. All right. So to start off, we have the weekend.
Uh,
Where's he going? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
oh man, I would say 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a weekend fan?
I, you said Canadian musicians, so that's a very big list. So I'm thinking of 2 people that could go that could go above that. So
Okay.
yeah,
I understand where you're coming from. Okay.
man.
Next one we have is Alessia Cara.
Man. Okay, 4.
4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually like her music. It's really good.
Yo, this is so unfair because I'm a musician, man, and I'm thinking about this. There's another Scarborough man's man. Like, yo, weekend crew is gonna come mess me up. Like, yo.
Mm. Okay. Next one we have is Justin Bieber.
Oh man, it that one's tough, man. Cause hmm, it's hard to put him below Listakara, and but it's also tough to put him above the weekend. That's not fair. That really is not fair. Um, so 1, 2, and 5 are open. So I'd say
Yeah.
2. Oh
2?
man, yeah.
All
You see,
right. All right, interesting. So you got
yeah.
1 and 5 left, right?
Hmm.
All right, the next one is Drake.
No, man, stop this. That's not fair. That is not fair. Choose another name. It's like
So what's wrong with Drake?
Leave Aubrey out of this, man. Like,
Look, I know he's having a rough year, but I
no,
mean,
but him and the weekend have beef, so you can't really be putting them on the same list. Like, we don't want no trouble. Please don't make me do this.
come on, man. The people need to know, where's Drake going? He's one. Is he 1 or is he 5?
Oh my gosh, it'd have to be 1.
1?
Yep, because we're saying Canadian musicians, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have number 5 left, right?
Yep.
It's so unfortunate because number 5 is Omega Mighty.
Stop it! Stop it! No, that is. You see why I kept saying that is unfair? You see, It's like, because look, I'm thinking of Havaya. Like, I'm thinking of Blue Rodeo. I'm thinking of Geddy Lee, one of the greatest bass players like living, and just an amazing human being. Like, so I was waiting for these people. I'm just like, oh man, you're gonna do this to me, man.
Here's the
And
thing.
Murray.
I could have thrown more of the local, like more like
Oh my
underground artists,
goodness.
but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna name some high names. I'm gonna throw Omega in the mix.
Yo,
Let's see if he's gonna be
stop
smart enough.
this, man. Like, I can never look her in the face anymore. Oh my
Omega,
god.
listen, just know if we're ever doing a blind ranking, Joe put you 5. He
No,
put you
stop it. Stop it.
no.
No, I did not put her 5. You defaulted like it was rigged. Stop the count. That's not fair.
Nah.
With a
Omega,
name like Omega, like it already implies at the top.
yeah,
So stop it.
yeah. Don't listen. It's all love. Omega, again, come on the show. We love to have a conversation with you. But
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Yo,
that's
Drew's
pretty
gonna
much
put me in a
it.
headlock, man.
Oh man, it's all about jokes. It's all love here on the
Mhm.
safe room, man. Like, obviously, don't take these rankings to heart. Obviously, I'm seeing Yasmin in the comments saying you should add Rihanna to the list. I mean, that kind of messes up everything. But maybe
Yeah.
for next time.
Yeah, you see, yeah. If there's numbers higher than 1, you know what? Let me just shut up.
Part of me wanted to be like, you know what? Do we do 10, 1 to 10? But I'm like, I don't know, man. That would have been even more hectic.
Yeah, well, if I could move numbers around, then that would have been fine. But
Okay,
if
so okay, I'll give you this. I know
okay.
you gave your rankings, so I believe
Mhm.
you said Drake 1, Weekend
Mhm.
2. You
Mhm.
had Bieber at 3, Alicia Cara at 4, and Omega 5. If you were to switch it around, what would be your final list?
Okay. Yeah, it really just depends on when I think musician, I'm thinking people who perform, people who sing. So when it comes to like vocal prowess, like I would put Omega up there. Like,
Okay.
yeah, in terms of singing, like her and Alicia Cara would be 1 and 2 in terms of vocals. But Bieber he plays his instruments, he sings, he writes, like, so I can appreciate that as well. Um so, and that's the tough thing. Like, I don't look at I think musician differently because of all the instruments in the room. Yeah, but if I had to do it again, I would say Drake 1, Weekend 2. It would probably be a tie, third, with Omega, and then, yeah, Bieber, and then the rest.
Okay,
So,
so I love how you explained that. Then you still put Drake 1. It's like, yeah, Drake still won, by the
well,
way.
if you think about what he's been able to accomplish as a Canadian, like as a Canadian artist, I don't think anyone's really touched that. So
Yeah.
to be fair, like for that reason alone, right? But if we're talking about, like in terms of, just vocal ability, yeah, there's like
Yeah, I feel you. Hey,
Omega's
listen.
Omega's my choice.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
listen, I feel you, man, for sure. Listen, if there's ever a time I gotta do some like music conversations, I'm definitely gonna invite you because I definitely want to, do something like that in the future. But I mean, I do appreciate you, Joe, for coming on the safe
yep,
room, man. That's all the questions I got. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, talking about real ones.
no
Again,
problem.
you are what the business name is. You are a real one for the
Thanks, Rowan.
community, man. You're someone who's gonna constantly see like how can I help others. Again, the
Hmm.
allyship for you is heavy. So just
Yep.
thank you for creating something like Real Ones and just being the person you are.
Yep. No, I really appreciate you having me on here. Yeah, we're really working really hard, and I'm hoping that we get to have conversations like these in the future, so I can tell you, the updates like since then. And is it okay if I tell people how to find Real Ones, how to connect with us, how to?
Hey, bro, you want to take my spot now? That was literally the next question I was gonna ask.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Go ahead, man. Plug yourself.
Yeah, so I'm calling all business owners, from entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. If you have a pop-up shop, if you don't have a physical location, online business, if you generate invoices and you get paid, to do business, please consider registering your business on Real Ones. You can find us on iOS and Android. Just Real Ones, all one word. Or you can connect with us on all of the social media platforms at Real Ones by GBA. Again, that's at Real Ones by GBA. Thanks so much, guys.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. And thanks for everyone who listened to the entire conversation here on Love Bay Radio for the Safe Room. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at the Safe Room Official. You want to follow me personally, check me out on Instagram at the President of TO. And
Nice.
one thing that we're doing now is a new service is that we are having our video business plan. Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly does that mean?
Hmm.
It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a business plan, but it's in video format. So you actually get to talk about, the overview of your business. So your products, your services, your target market, what's your unique value proposition. And it's a great precursor for anyone who's looking to start their business growth, who's looking to, pitch this to a potential investor or partner, or even like a nonprofit organization, getting to hear them, hear you, your voice about what your business is. So if you want to know more, head to our website, thesaferoom.ca, book a spot, and we'll get you right. It's going to be me and the lovely people at Art House TO who will get you right. All you got to do is show up and look at your Sunday best. Bring your Sunday best around. It won't be on a Sunday, mostly on church recorded. It depends. But bring your Sunday best and we will make you look good. So again, head to our website, thesaferoom.ca. Head to our YouTube channel as well. Shon Williams. I'll be posting content more often. I'm more happy that I'm actually posting content. If this was like 2 months ago, it would have been
Nice.
nothing mentioned about YouTube on the show. Like, absolutely nothing. But
Bro.
head to our YouTube channel. But again, thank you guys for listening, and make sure you tune in next week for your favorite show here on Love Bay Radio. Have a
Nice.
great night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.